3 2-minute rounds. Introducing your first fighter. Out of the blue corner, she fights on a black diamond, Daniela MIRANDA. Alanna SHERIDAN.
So Chris, after that last incredible bout, we see again another matchup that underpins Crew Sam's philosophy here. Alanna SHERIDAN, the Warrior, stepping up again against a very impressive opponent in Daniela MIRANDA.
And Daniela MIRANDA, actually, it's worth saying, has professional experience, but there was no hesitation in coming here tonight. Amateur rule set, going back to basics. Alanna SHERIDAN has 3 fights. She's 2-1, but a much more experienced professional competitor than Daniela MIRANDA with 6 fights, combined pro experience. Very interesting kind of style matchup. She describes herself as a forward fighter. Daniela MIRANDA going out there to be aggressive tonight. On the flip side, Alanna SHERIDAN loves a challenge, loves going out there, and loves showing off that Thai kind of hybrid style.
She said, I'm not showy. I love to fight. I love testing myself for the team. And she said in this camp, they have been working very much so on footwork and movement. Whereas Daniela said for her camp, what she's been looking at is training against different styles. So how to adapt against different stylistic fighters. So on paper, again, this could be a really good bout, but let's not take it out of context. Alanna SHERIDAN is against an unbeaten fighter in Daniela MIRANDA.
Oh, huge right hand there right at the start. Good connection from SHERIDAN, but MIRANDA going after her from the get-go as promised.
Well, as we said again, we're looking at an experience deficit for Alanna. She's having to come up in weight to fight here, and that might tell with these heavy shots from Daniela MIRANDA. If I knew my opponent was coming up in weight, I would be doing exactly this as well, Chris. Coming in, trying to test her early. Daniela's, look, she's planted her feet. Everything here is with power. She's not trying to save energy. She's not trying to set up. She's just throwing power shots.
An excellent guard so far from SHERIDAN. Fastball right hand, straight down the middle there from MIRANDA. Good connection here. Both women refusing to take that backward step.
And that's impressive from Alanna because Daniela is asking questions of her. She's saying, look, I'm experienced, I'm heavier, I'm going to hurt you. And this is what she's trying. Now, when they lock the leg, Chris, it's got to be an instant strike in these K1 rules.
And Pete Richardson giving a warning there about that kick catch. Love the knee game, though, from MIRANDA.
Well, the thing with the kick catch, Chris, is you've got to catch, strike, and let go immediately.
And again a knee. And a knee in response there from SHERIDAN. SHERIDAN promised she had a couple of tricks up her sleeve tonight that she was going to use to throw off MIRANDA. You mentioned the footwork. She's using it.
Well, MIRANDA, she set out her stall. She's coming forward and really throwing everything. And caution to the wind as she just comes forward here looking for these power shots. But what I like is the way that Alanna SHERIDAN has dealt with it, Chris.
That's a slip, says Pete Richardson. Quick check, all good. I'm loving the head movement right now. I'm loving the sort of awareness under fire and the chaos from both competitors. They're super aware, not a lot of wasted movement, not much telegraphing either, so a real technical fight so far.
Well, it's also been a fight of a real pace and intensity. And again, when you look at stamina and conditioning, this is going to be essential because nothing was thrown as a setup there from either girl. Did you notice that? Everything that was thrown had venom in it. That takes the stamina out of you. No setup here, no working your way in. From the moment, as you said, that first shot from Daniela, everything followed suit.
And a nice overhand right there. MIRANDA doing everything she could to try to box SHERIDAN into the corner and work the geometry, Malcolm. Although she gave chase, it seemed to me that SHERIDAN was happy to play Matador.
What SHERIDAN did nicely, as we saw here, she tucks up tightly. She brings those elbows in. Once those elbows are in, as the strikes come forward, they were just very simple, very straight left and rights. And we've said many times before on many shows, When are you most vulnerable? When you're in full flow attacking. That's what Daniela's done the whole first round, attacked. But that leaves you open to counter. What Alanna's done well is tuck in tight with those elbows, throw those straight punches, and she knows Daniela's going to be there. I'm not saying it's taken the round for her, but it's made Daniela's work far harder.
So 2 of a potential 3 here. Chris Hoekstra alongside Malcolm Martin. You are tuned into the prelims here, going worldwide for free on Facebook. If you haven't got access already, get the pay-per-view on FITE. That's FITE. You can watch it on the app or on the web.
And again, the second round, Chris, they started at an incredible pace. And again, no setup. Everything's thrown with feet planted for maximum power. But you've seen now from the start of the second round, Alanna SHERIDAN is happy to stand and trade with Daniela.
So trying to step in the clinch, it seems, is Miranda. That knee game and that round kick is certainly paying off. The question is, how will SHERIDAN adapt to that even more aggressive chase from Miranda?
Well, what she's done is she stands her ground. Look, she stops, she plants her feet, and then starts to throw back. And now, for the first time, because of that, backs Miranda up, and you can hear the crowd's response. And it's those straight punches. She's staying in the pocket, she's standing with Miranda, and then, as I said, using those very basic straight punches. Now, she said, I'm not a showy competitor. What she's doing is using what we call bread and butter technique to great effect. Look at this, straight through the channel, and just forcing Daniela to come just slightly more hooking with her punches.
Half the experience in the ring. Alanna SHERIDAN is certainly making a case here for that secret game plan they promised that they had. And Malcolm, the irony of it is it's not so secret. It's real Dutch-style kind of combination. Straight punches followed by low kicks.
Exactly, Chris. High and low. You know what we like. Hands upstairs, legs down low, straight through the channel. And what she shocked Daniela Miranda is by not backing off. And look, every punch now is landing from SHERIDAN as she comes forward. And
Good
the right
punches
lands
again, but the right cross has been a beautiful weapon. It's been a battle of the right hand, so to speak, here from the first to the second. A bit of an evolution, some learning between both fighters. I'm convinced that Miranda still has crazy power, but she's right now not effectively setting up the strikes. For me, that was a strong round for SHERIDAN.
I agree. I felt Daniela Miranda, you could make a strong case for her in the first round, but Alanna SHERIDAN came out, and as you said, that traditional Dutch style, she threw the hands from a tight guard and then worked the legs low, but it's just straight through the channel.
Taking a look at the replay. Oh, awesome. That push kick to the face. Considered disrespectful in traditional Thai, but this is K1 rules, folks. An awesome clinch work. I love the footwork. I love everything that we saw from both individuals in this fight, Malcolm. Something really for everybody.
Well, the thing is, although Daniela Miranda had to eat a lot of these straight rights, nothing fazed her. She just keeps coming back. Look, there's a heavy right. She shakes her head and comes straight back. That's what's made this such a good fight. There's been little in the way of setup. There's been little in the way of finesse. It's been in that pocket, toe-to-toe, and it's a battle of wills here. And again, that teep coming through naturally from Daniela Miranda. And it's a tough one for the judges, Chris, because they've stood toe-to-toe. And they're coming into the third round, and I honestly feel a really dominant third round from either young lady in this ring could seal this bout.
So third and final round here in London, and it could come down to who's got more gas in the tank. SHERIDAN versus Miranda. SHERIDAN in the red, Miranda in the blue.
But Chris, these are the amateur prelims, and they've been superb already. I mean, the high-octane nature of this bout, the sheer pace and the tenacity, and they've had to dig deep, both of them.
And I love how Pete Richardson is letting them work, especially at close range. The number of significant strikes landed has got to be some of the most we've seen so far tonight.
And yet, look at both ladies' faces. You would not know it. They just come back with a technique of their own. And the timing. And again, you just saw Daniela Miranda shake her head there. Yeah, you caught me with the front kick, so what? I'm coming straight back at you. And that's what this bout has been. It's been superb across the 3 rounds. And again, Chris, it's one of those bouts you and I have seen many times where I will genuinely feel for the loser of this bout, because both ladies are probably thinking, I'm in with a shout on this.
I'd like to see SHERIDAN get back to what helped her, in my opinion, secure the second, and that was set up those kicks with the hands. Because Miranda, as you said, Malcolm, I got to steal your nomenclature, has venom in the fist.
Well, the thing that SHERIDAN has let go this time is the tight guard in the third. She really tucked the elbows in tight, brought the hands up high, and then brought the punches straight through the channel. Her punches aren't as straight as they were in round 2. That might also be fatigue. It's easy for me to say out here with a bottle of water in my commentary position. Not so easy in there. So her punching isn't as crisp as it was in round 2. But look at the pace they've both been working at. Look at the amount of techniques they've thrown.
So it is a race to the finish line. Just under 20 seconds on the clock here. Big dump. A slip, says Pete Richardson. Miranda okay, pressing forward. Miranda working off the jab, looking for the left. Roundhouse to the body.
One thing Miranda has done well for me is integrate the legs so naturally and freely. They just come into those techniques without even thinking. But that for me was a great bout, Chris. And as I said, these two ladies are going to hug, and in their minds, both have got a sneaking suspicion they've got this. And it's the sort of bout where you genuinely feel sorry for the one woman that doesn't get the vote, because they've both done enough there in my book. And you think, when you look at this back and forward, it's the most ragged of the 3 rounds because of the amount of effort they put in. But they're both still there. They're both still throwing. And it's all with venom. There's no pity-patty about any of this.
Yeah, everything was thrown with effort. Everything was obviously put in there with the heart, grit, and determination that both women showed. Malcolm, what a fight. What an amazing fight. What a great back-and-forth contest for me. There's no loser here.
No, and superb stuff, Chris. And as I said, when you watch these replays, they gave their all. And, I mean, they stay in the pocket. And the shots coming through. And yet neither blinks, neither steps back. They just keep coming forward. And as I said, the sad thing for me is both will go back to their corners really thinking, I've got a good chance. This shouts for me. And one of them's going to be disappointed. But you can't take away from either young lady. What an incredible bout on this undercard.
How about it, London? What an amazing fight was that fight of the night so far, or what? So the judges are just bringing their scorecards in for one more time. London, make some noise for both Alanna SHERIDAN and Daniela MIRANDA. Fighters to the center, please. So, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. And after those 3 hard-fought rounds, we have another split decision. Judge number 1 at ringside scores the contest in favor of your fighter from the red corner, Alanna SHERIDAN. And the second of your 3 judges scores the contest in favor of Daniela MIRANDA. And the third sees the bouts for your fighter from the red corner.
So Sheridan gets the nod in the red corner by split decision.